Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to HerJourney2Self Podcast. My name is Tamara and I am your host. Happy Friday. Let me tell you, your girl is exhausted. My 13-month-old is apparently going through yet another sleep regression. I didn't even know that there was another sleep regression that could happen between 12 and 15 months. Like, what? I don't know what it is. It could be that she's teething because she is cutting more teeth. It could be that she's going through another developmental leap. I don't know. All I know is I'm exhausted. Okay. But anyway, I hope you all are doing well. Here we are again to learn and grow and explore. If you are here, I hope that you are all about transformation, because that is exactly what we are all about over here at Her Journey to Self, and really realizing that life is a journey and not a destination. So let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Today, we are talking about the power of your no. Yes, your no is powerful and you should not be afraid to use it. There is a lot of timidity that surrounds the word no, and it's such a tiny word. It only has 2 letters, but it is so powerful. It is so impactful, and so many people are afraid to use it. We have been made to feel that it's rude or self-serving, and while that can be true, it's not always true. And it does a disservice to live in that absolute. So growing up, I was always perceived as the goody two-shoes. Now, I did not give myself that label. Other people did. That grossly impacted my life and my decision making. And now as an adult, I can definitely see the remnants of that. And it's so crazy how things in our childhood show up in our adult life. And the things that we look back on and think were so trivial are actually the cornerstone of our actions today. When I was younger, I was always worried about what people would think of me. I was always so concerned about doing the right thing or saying the right thing, which is so relative, by the way, but it actually stifled me in many ways. And I've had this realization that I still do this as an adult. I've done it many times in jobs that I've had. I've even done it in my career, which is like crazy, but with auditioning. And I remember I did this show with a group. And some time later, they were having auditions to join the group as a member. And I knew that I did not want to do the audition only because it wasn't the direction I wanted my career to go in. But I felt obligated to do so. And let's be clear, I put this obligation, this perceived obligation on myself. Since I was invited to the audition, I didn't want to seem rude, or I didn't want them to think that I didn't enjoy working with them, because I did. But I was so sure that I did not want to do the audition and that I shouldn't be doing the audition, but I did it anyway. And that day ended up being just so stressful. Not even like the audition really, but my work day at my job. That day was stressful and crazy. And then I ended up having to stay later at work because of the events that transpired, which made me like maybe 2 minutes late for the audition, which you absolutely needed to be there on time. And then, oh my gosh, I think I was so stressed out. This was, when I was in New York, subway drama too. And then I think I got lost. I don't know. It was just crazy. So I was like frazzled going into the audition. I knew I didn't want to be at the audition. I knew it wasn't for me, and I did it anyway. And then I didn't even get it. So it was like, if I just would have listened to myself, followed my gut, then I could have avoided all of that stress. When we don't take control over what we want or even what we are supposed to do, we surrender our time, our effort, our intuition. And sometimes it's just a matter of realizing that we could have spent that time doing something else, doing something that we actually wanted to do or something that we needed to do, doing something else that would have opened up a door that I actually wanted to go through, because maybe I would have looked for another audition to do that day, or maybe I just would have went home and went to sleep. But that surrender could also open a door that you don't want to go through, that could have lasting and damaging effects, because it's typically these small choices that we don't think are that significant that can really blow up our lives. It can blow up in our faces, okay? So why should you learn the power of your no? First, responsibility. You have a responsibility to take care of yourself. To honor yourself, to prioritize yourself. Saying yes to yourself does not inherently mean that you are saying no to others. Sometimes it does, and that is completely fine. It's okay. It is okay to say no to other people. But taking care of yourself can positively impact your relationship with others and your capacity to help. Think about it like this. Think about being the surgeon of your life. I know I don't want a surgeon who is not well rested or well read or well studied operating on me. I need to know that that surgeon is taking care of themselves. Not only that they, know what they're doing medically, but that they are of sound mind and sound body. I don't need them passing out or having a mental breakdown in the middle of operating. Okay. Because when you do say yes to so many things or too many people, you are sacrificing something. So what are you sacrificing? Are you sacrificing time, money, emotions, skills, talents, all of these things that could be used to help improve you, your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health? Sometimes there are more important things that you need to give your yes to. And think about how much more productive you could be if you said yes to you. Another reason is evolution. We are always becoming, we are always evolving. It is okay to change your mind. It is okay to change your mind. And just because you used to say yes to something doesn't mean you have to keep saying yes. Change is what we do. Our priorities, our perspectives. It is completely normal. And I believe the essence of who we are remains the same, but life experiences are inevitable. And it is those experiences that create change. I am definitely not who I was 10 years ago, and thank God for it. Thank God for the growth and the wisdom. But, sometimes our present self is operating with our past self mindset. Do you know how much anxiety and frustration that causes? We do not always have to be agreeable. And finally, boundaries are important. Boundaries cultivate healthy relationships. Everybody is talking about being authentic and wanting people to be authentic. We always hear authenticity is key. Okay, well, your ability to say no is practicing honesty. That is authenticity. And this is crucial in any type of relationship, because you don't want to feel like you are being taken advantage of, or that you are taking advantage of someone else. And you don't want there to be any type of resentment because you were too afraid to articulate what you wanted or what you needed. I also think that sometimes there's this desperation to have the idea of something. We want it so badly and we're afraid of losing it. So we're going to do anything or say anything to keep it. This happens a lot in relationships, whether it's a marriage or a friendship or being a part of an organization. But it's a facade because you aren't being true to yourself. You aren't being fulfilled, and you can walk away from it being in worse shape than what you started. And you can't really blame the other person or other people because you have willingly given yourself. And sometimes you can catch them off guard when it appears that you are all of a sudden changing, when you start saying no to things and you start speaking up for yourselves, and they're looking at you like, okay, I don't know who this person is. I don't know who you are. I don't know where all of this is coming from, because you showed them someone else. They thought everything was fine. In reality, all of these things were boiling under the surface, and you finally had enough and you just let it all come out. Now, that's not always the case. Sometimes people absolutely know that they are taking advantage of you and that they are manipulating you. But we must take care of ourselves. If we are going to demand respect from others, we first must demand respect for ourselves. So, what have you been saying yes to that you shouldn't have? What have you been saying no to that deserves your yes? Take hold of your power. Remember, saying no to something also means saying yes to something else. So let's chat about this down below in the comments if you are watching on YouTube. And if you don't know, you can watch the episode on YouTube at Tamara J. Morris, or head on over to Instagram at HerJourney2Self. Tell me what you are going to start saying yes to. So thank you so much for tuning in for another episode. I hope you've been encouraged. Until next time, peace, love, and light.